Corinthians 11:7, commonly misconcepted. If you go into church and you wear a hat on your head, a lot of times they tell you, hey, take your hat off your head. And one of the things that they do that for is because this interpretation on Corinthians 11:7, it says, a man shall not cover his head, since he is the image and glory of God, but woman is the glory of man. That's not actually what it says here. What I'm going to try and teach you is one of the hardest to understand things here. This is like a 14 character word. 14 character words in Greek are super hard to translate and understand. It doesn't mean to cover. A man truly for not ought to cover the head, image and glory of God, being the woman, however, the glory of man is. See how that could be misinterpreted? However, the glory of man is. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, where are we right now? But I actually went through this and I researched the words of this, and look at this. One of the words it can mean human being. So the way that I translated this initially was human beings should not use veils, meaning super scientific word. All right, this is how I originally translated it. I was like, that verse is not correct, and I actually looked it up, and I do it just like this, meaning, right? And look at this. One of the definitions is veil oneself or be veiled. So you're supposed to fight veilers off. You're not supposed to veil yourself. You're not supposed to farm your vision. You're not supposed to farm your feelings. You're not supposed to farm the technology of your body and your biological mass, your soul. You're not supposed to figure out your soul. That is God's job. If you figure out your soul, you are essentially making a multiplayer, lower dimensional translation or estimation, essentially possibly helping the enemies figure out your soul, and thus causing more soul-based complications, thus possibly even killing yourself. You could actually kill yourself by figuring yourself out on Earth, because the enemy is looking at Earth. Earth is a lower dimension. Earth is a middle dimension in a way, actually. And if you figure yourself out, imagine this. A 20-year-old has discovered his soul, and then a god has killed him. Breaking news, NBC. Whoops. But that's seriously the logistics here. Is like, if you are 20 years old, 50 years old, 100 years old and younger, and you figure out your soul, you found a translation to the meaning of your soul that is understandable to a 100-year-old. You found a way to break through to you and the meaning of you, something that you need to keep wholly sacred and encrypted and infinitely far away from understanding of young beings. You need to keep that technology and science, and you need to keep that infinitely far away from everyone. You should not be researching this stuff. You should not be doing this. This was witchcraft. This is not some weird, like, oh, it's witchcraft. Oh, it's cool. It's hip. No, it's something dangerous. This can get your soul killed. You can think all day long that you're the most encrypted thing ever. But if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, less than hundreds of years old, we're talking, you need to die and go to heaven before you start working on this. You need to die and go to the most encrypted thing. You need to live inside of a star and have a star firewall shooting infinite energy outwards just to give you a buffer, so you know that the enemy is trying to download your soul as well. So there are new beings in this world, and you need to understand that the Bible is here to teach you that there are new beings. You might be one. Don't get tricked into thinking that you're an old soul too early and trying to figure out your soul, because it's not going to help you, and it's not going to help anyone. There you go. That's a good way. I don't even want to get into the rest of this. Reading the rest of this, it's obvious that it doesn't mean that women is the glory of man. That's not what it says. Women, however, the glory of man is. It basically means men and women should not be using veils. That's what it means. It doesn't mean a man, like we just looked up. It means a human being. Human beings of earth do not wear veils, or you may condemn your soul to hell. And not just hell, possibly death. Om Jubamar out. Peace.